Last time we were in Kakariko Village, I noticed that this guy was drawing Impa's house. So I'm curious, do you draw anything over here? Ah! That's a cute little detail you're drawing the hills. Hello everybody, once again to you, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In today's episode, we're going to finish our exploration going towards that one forest that we heard about from King Dorephan in Zora's Domain. First thing I want to do though is there's going to be a Sheikah Tower thingy up there that I have to take care of first. So without further ado, let's go over here and snake attack! We don't have any palm arrows! We were attacking that one guy's corpse before we actually did any damage to the other guy. That's kind of amusing. Ah, yeah! 2 buckle lids for the price of 1. Haha! Alright, what's gonna be inside? What's gonna be inside? What's gonna be inside? What's gonna be inside? Oh, yeah! Topaz! Topaz is such a fun word! Bees! Ah! Bees! 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 Ah! Explosion will save me! Die! That is too far away! Go away! Ah! I feel like I'm playing Animal Crossing Run Away from the Bees in that game. Well, they're wasps or something like that. Anyway, let's go over this way. Oh, there's some bees over there. I'm getting easily distracted. That's Breath of the Wild in a nutshell for you. So starting off our journey today, we'll be taking care of the tower over here. There's a pot right there if you need to cook anything. It's probably going to be a good idea because there will be some tough enemies in this area. So it might be a good idea to do that. I don't need to do that because I don't feel like it. I believe there are also some Koroks around this area. It just feels like an area where you'd see a lot of Koroks. So when we eventually take care of the woodland region Korok seeds, then we'll probably see some more in this area. It's going to be pretty exciting. So, just like everything else in this game, there are plenty of options for you to start when it comes to climbing this tower. So, the route that I'm going to be taking is not going to be directly in this tar puddle thingy. The tar right there is going to be evil, so you definitely want to avoid that if you can. But this is going to be the basic route that I'll be taking. If you're wondering how I can see the health bar of the bad guys, that's because I'm wearing the champion tunic. So if you don't have that, look around the Kakariko village and you should get that from a side quest or something like that. But that was something that we took care of a little while back in the order of the playlist, so that's pretty exciting. Die, Octorok! Octo Balloon, oh yeah. So now let's go across this area. And again, like I said earlier, be careful not to fall into the tar pits because it's not going to be a very pleasant experience at all. So how you can help yourself around this area, you can use magnesis around these. I do believe that Cryonis will also create ice blocks in this area. Yes, it will. Okay, that's good to know. I personally like using magnesis in this area because it's a lot less risky because sometimes you just slip off the Cryonis block and sometimes it also rains in this area. So it's a good idea to not slip off if you can. I just feel like I have more control over where I'm going if I'm using a magnesis block. Now be careful right here because we have an electric Lizalfos swimming around the water. And if they go near the magnetic platforms, it's going to electrocute them. So you definitely want to be careful about that. What you can do to prevent that is by shooting them in the face. Now, I don't feel like fighting that enemy. We don't really need to do that right now. So I'm just going to let him have an arrow in his head because that's always healthy. Okay, we almost didn't make it, but then we did. Ooh, I smell an opportunity. I smell an opportunity. Why did I use a square one? I want to use a circular one. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. You went the wrong way. You went the wrong way, stupid circular thingy. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Why are you going that way? Can it please be unnecessarily epic? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking, and now you're following me. Don't follow me unless you're following me on Twitter. Or Instagram, because I have that apparently. Eep! 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 Owie! That looked painful. Owie. Alright, that way over there didn't exactly work out, so let's see if there's something over here we can do instead. It doesn't look like this platform really goes anywhere. This doesn't go anywhere! Except over here. I see. Haha. There's a shiny treasure chest over here, and it must be mine. Ooh, that was very well worth it. That was very well worth it. I'm glad that I went on my way to go get that one. Explosion! 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 Stabby, stabby, stabby! That wasn't quite the unnecessary epicness that I wanted, but it was close enough. Alright, let's see what's inside this one. Is it going to be another 100 rubies? Bomb arrows, okay, that's very nice. And now we've reached the Woodland Tower. Now, if you want to avoid all of that, then you could also use Cryonis to create some blocks for you to go across this area with. The only real hazard you'd come across, so when trying to go that route, would be that whiz rope down there, or if for whatever reason that electrical is also makes its way over here. I've never seen that happen to me, but I've heard some people say that happened. I don't know if it can, but it's very well worth mentioning. So as we go across this area, I would just like to say that a bit of a fun story about my first playthrough of this area. The Joy-Cons that I got with the Switch, it was like a first model Switch controller. So the left thumbstick had that problem where sometimes the controller would stop reading for a second and then it would continue onward. It's not exactly the same thing as Joy-Con drift, but this problem did eventually get fixed because there was like a piece missing inside the Joy-Con when it got shipped in early models. So I'd run into problems where I'd move the Link forward and then I'd let go of the thumbstick, but he'd keep moving for like a split second. Now imagine that combined with this. I fell into this tar pit so many times. Like, that's like one of the bigger things that I remember specifically from that first playthrough when it comes to climbing the towers and things like that. And I've been waiting for a long time to share that story. Now that we've reached the top, there's nowhere left to go but down. Also points if you already get the reference. I think I've said this in another tower. Shika Tower activated. Now, if you want a visual reference for things we've seen before, down there, that stable over there, that's where we started this episode. Over there, we could see the mountain surrounding Zora's domain. It's a little bit obscured by Death Mountain right here, but we could see the Divine Beast. Over here, way off over there, you see that tiny little tower off in the distance? That's the Great Plateau, where we started this adventure at. So yeah, we still got a long way to go before we're done with this adventure, but I just always love seeing just how far we've come from our adventure. And our next stop is going to be located over here. And I have been looking forward to this for a long time. So, let's call our pony over here. That random pig running by. That was literally the only tree in that path. Okay. Raisin is slowly turning into a waffle. It might be time to go find another horse at some point. Not right now, but at some point in the near future. So what will be coming up towards next is honestly one of my favorite parts of the entire game. This is something that stays with me every time that I replay through this game, and I'm really looking forward to this area. Welcome to the Lost Woods. I don't see any other torches nearby. So what happens if we try going beyond this area? The Lost Woods, or at least the idea of it, is a concept that has been with the Zelda series for a very long time. You're in a very mysterious forest, and if you don't know your way across this area, then you'll get lost here, hence the name Lost Woods. We've seen this in places such as Link's Awakening, when we weren't able to get out of the forest until we were able to save that one raccoon. Or things like Ocarina of Time will probably be a more appropriate example. We even see these in side games such as Cadence of Spyro, for example. Out of all of those examples, out of anything in the Zelda series, this is easily my favorite. This is my favorite interpretation of the Lost Woods, and we haven't even seen my favorite part of it yet. So, what you want to do, you may notice that the embers of the torches are burning in a very specific way. They'll always point in the direction that you need to go. So, when you have a torch with you, then what you want to do is try to find which way the embers are burning and then follow in that direction. Now, you will eventually find something that will tell you which way you're going now. So, this tree, looks like we want to go to this ember over here. And basically, the mindset is when you come across a tree, that's when you want to stop and look for which way you want to go next. looks like we've reached our destination. So without further ado, let's go onwards. Welcome to the Korok Forest.
Link, you are our final hope. The fate of Hyrule rests with you!
Who is that? Did I doze off again? Well. It's you. You finally decided to return. Better late than never. After 100 years, I'd nearly given up hope on seeing you again. Even my patience has limits, you know. That look on your face tells me that you have no recollection of me, however. I have watched over Hyrule since time immemorial. Many have referred to me over the ages as the Deku Tree. That is the weapon created by the ancient goddess. The sword that seals the darkness that only the chosen knight can wield against the Calamity Ganon. Believe it or not, it was actually you who wielded that sword 100 years ago. But I must warn you to take extreme caution. The sword stands as a test to anyone who would dare attempt to possess it. As you are now, I cannot say whether you are worthy or not. If you sought to free the sword in any sort of weakened state, you would surely lose your life where you stand. Best of luck, young one.
If you hope to pull the sword from its resting place, you must use your true strength. Let us see whether or not you currently possess said power. You would have lost your life if you hadn't released your grip of the sword. Prepare before you try again, for I will not stay your hand part way through the next time. So this is our long-term goal right now. We don't have enough strength to take the Master Sword out of the seal, and we won't until we have 13 heart containers, and we only have 8 right now. So, there will be a card on the corner of the screen that will take you to the episode where we get the Master Sword, but as of right now, this is something that we won't be able to do for a while. So, on screen you'll have a list of... Ooh, what's this? Ooh, a silent princess. This lovely flower was said to have been favored of the Princess of Hyrule. Once feared to have gone extinct, it's recently been spotted growing in the wild. Intriguing. So on the corner of the screen, you'll see a caption that will explain just how many heart containers you'll need to get to 13. I'm mixed up. It'll explain how many spirit orbs you need to get to 13 heart containers is what I'm trying to say. So we go inside here and we can see there's some Korax around this area. No vegetarians everywhere. Stop, that's my face! Huh? Sorry about that. Must have dozed off. You're Mr. Hero, aren't you? The Great Dicky Tree told me all about you, so you finally made it to our forest, huh? I've been waiting for so long. I thought I might start to put down roots. Welcome to the Great Dicky Tree's navel! I made a bed out of these just for you, Mr. Hero. Take as long as you like with yawns and this. How much? Ooh, I don't want your rubies. You're the great Mr. Hero. I prepared this bed for you ages ago. All I want is to help you get some sleep. Alright, so free bed. Not too bad. Now, I don't think that will let us have the yellow hearts we can get from other beds. But inside here, we can get some stuff. We can buy some mushrooms and things like that, which are going to be pretty good for some ingredients when we cook stuff. And ooh, we could buy a hearty radish here? That is very good. Cane sugar, that's also pretty nice. We got some arrows and shock arrows. Alright, so that's pretty nice. But, more importantly, we have the greatest weapon in the game. The soup ladle. And we don't have enough inventory for it. Yeah, that soup ladle, that's the pre-order bonus if you get Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I'll talk to you in a moment, but first, there's something around here that I'd like to take care of. Maybe we'll see a familiar face, and by maybe, I mean we definitely will. Shalaka! It's you, we meet again! Was it the silent treatment? Don't you remember me? I'm the musician of Korok Forest Hitsteel. I'm impressed you found your way through the lost woods and made it here. So, have you brought me any Korok seeds? I sure hope so. If you'll return my lost Korok seeds to me, I'll expand the size of your inventory. Which stash do you want another slot in? We desperately need more weapons. Okay, I'll just need 12 Korok seeds. Expand the bang, weapon stash, shalaka. So then, do you want another stash? Alright, we're gonna be working on this for a little bit, so... Fast forward! Duh. So that's about as far as I want to go with expansions right now. Now, we could keep going for a long time, but I don't personally feel like we need any more inventory space. But, what I do feel like showing off, and this is long overdue, Nikki! Nikki, Nikki, Nikki! Okay, I don't exactly remember what triggers this other thing you can say, but I'm gonna see if I can get it to trigger. Okay, I don't exactly remember what triggers this. I'll probably have footage of it on screen somewhere. But there's this really funny line of dialogue Hesty would say if you talk to him without any clothes. And he'll be all like, "You're naked!" It's like really, really funny. And I have history with this one. So, my uncle was also playing Breath of the Wild around the same time that I was, and surprisingly, he has more hours in this game than I do. So, the thing about that was that there was one Christmas where my family was celebrating Christmas together and things like that, and my grandpa was curious about Breath of the Wild. He's the kind of person who hasn't really played a video game since the Atari days. So, my uncle was showing him around the game, and then later in that same day, my uncle and my sister were talking about Breath of the Wild, and my uncle was showing her what happens if you talk to Hestia without any clothes, and they were both they were both quoting that naked thing. And my grandfather had the funniest expression. He was so confused when he was looking at them. It was amazing. To you who sets foot in the shrine, I am Ruug, in the name of the goddess Zelda, the elf of this trial. Fateful stars. Look at the star for guidance. The constellations are the key. So, this is a puzzle that I honestly don't really understand that much. Now, I believe we're supposed to look at like the dots for the constellations and things like that. Or, actually, we're supposed to... Yeah, I really don't understand this puzzle. But, luckily, I already have the solutions to the puzzles in my notes. So, as we speed up the footage for this area, there will be something explaining on screen what exactly the solution to this is, like how you're supposed to figure it out on your own time. Now, don't you worry, past Lady Gear to you, because post-commentary Lady Gear to you is here to save the day. Woo! So the solution to this puzzle can be figured out by looking at the constellations at the end of each row. So in the first row, we'll see that there's kind of an L-shaped constellation. We'll look at that and then look at the giant constellation map on the wall, count the individual shapes. So there are 5 L-shaped constellations on the giant wall. That's how you could figure out where to place the orbs. Repeat this pattern for each of the other orbs, and then you'll figure out the puzzle solution. I did it. Are you proud of me? So that could be the end of it, but there's actually something else that we can do in here as well. There is another thing that's blocked off over there. So, once again, fast forward for the other combination. And inside here is going to be our sweet, sweet woo-woo. It's been a long time since I've seen that animation. It's still funny. So anyway, let's go over here and finish off this shrine. Now the reason why I want to do this one in particular is because this is going to be the easiest way for us to get back to the Korok Forest whenever we're teleporting across the map, without us having to go through that misty fog area and figuring out the puzzle for that again. Your resourcefulness in overcoming this trial speaks to the promise of a skip. May the goddess smile about skip. So we're taking care of all that. Sorry, people of the audience, but I'm gonna put Link's clothes back on. I know, most people prefer Link not being shirtless in this game, but I kind of don't like being shirtless in games and things like that, not even when I'm playing as a female character, but yeah, that's my personal opinion. But anyway, now we're taking care of all that, we're in this video off here. So thank you all so much for watching this episode of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Your options on where to go next, so you can go to the next video in the playlist, where we will be continuing our exploration of the Korok Forest. There are plenty of side quests in this area, so it's going to take about an episode or 2 to finish them all in this area. Your alternate route option, however, is to leave the Korok Forest and go back to Death Mountain, where we will continue searching for the next Divine Beast. You can also search for Koroks across the Woodland region as well, or you can ignore all of that and go straight for Ganon. So thank you all so much for watching this episode of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm Lady Gear to you, and where would you like to go to next?